The Magic win their 20th game of the season, beating Indiana for the second time in a week. We'll go over the key takeaways from the game as well as dive into the box score, which will help us tell the story. From London, England, this is the Orlando Magic Nation, your source from all things Orlando Magic on YouTube. For Magic fans, by a Magic fan. I'm Edwin Valentine, and I want to thank you very much for clicking on this video and spending a little bit of time talking Magic with me. Got to do the normal YouTube things like, share, drop a comment below on how you felt the Magic played. Maybe don't focus on the defense because it definitely wasn't there at all times. And if you want to do so, hit that subscribe so you don't miss out on any content that I produce. We'll jump right into the takeaways from this game. So, an offensive battle. That's what, of course, we expected from the Orlando Magic and the team that basically has one of the worst offenses in the league in Indiana. So either they're playing us incredibly well or the defensive identity that we used to have is just nowhere to be found. So we shot 56% from the field, 47% from three, and we barely win. Yeah, 8 points ends up being the margin, but it was tight throughout, especially once they kind of got their footing again after we went on a little bit of a run. So we gave up 55% shooting overall, 44% from three, and 76% from the free throw line. And where's the defensive identity that I mentioned before, right? We're supposed to be that team. We're supposed to be a top 10 defense even this year. And I'm not even talking about last year. This year, we're supposed to be a top 10 defense. And I know we're injured. Obviously, we know that. We know Jalen's not there. We know Franz is not there. And Franz is low key one of our better defenders and doesn't really get the respect overall in the NBA for his defense. But what is happening? Like AB is a better defender than what he showed in this one. Yeah, he can block shots because of his length, but we need people to stop guys at the point of attack. So to me, that's the number one takeaway is that we have no defensive identity anymore. Like, yeah, it's great that our offense is humming and shooting as well as we did and scoring 135 points. It's 2 games in a row that we played really well on offense. So that's great. We've caught our footing a little bit without Jalen again, and that's again great. And we're going to get Franz and Mo back apparently pretty soon. So all of that is great on the offensive end. So hopefully when Franz comes back, maybe that'll make our defense a lot better and at least have a bit more intensity than we have shown so far because it has been real bad when it comes to watching guys not even stopping ball, giving up a lot of fast break points as we have in the last 2-3 weeks, really ever since we got back from Vegas. All of the things that we prided ourselves as a magic basketball, that's all gone. We're not outworking teams, we're not out rebounding teams, we're not taking the ball away from teams, we're not doing any of the stuff really that we used to do. So that's just something. Are we gonna continue to play this way? Is this going to be something that Mosley is going to be able to find a way to configure lineups that are going to play a little bit differently, or is it just going to be giving a bleep? Really, if you give a, then that really is most of the battle, really. Because if you see teams that win in the NBA, a lot of the times it's just about outworking the other team, because NBA players, every team has NBA players, right? So there's a lot of talent in the NBA in general. Shoot, Denver just beat Philadelphia with half their guys out injured, right? 8 guys, I think, were out in the game, and they still were able to win it. So there's talent everywhere, but man, you have to want it. And right now, the Magic wanted enough to win or have enough talent to win, but they're not playing as if they really want it, and that's unfortunate. So that to me is the takeaway number one. We were out rebounded again. Takeaway two kind of goes off of about takeaway one. Out rebounded again, just not as bad this time. So yippee, I guess. And I think that's going to be something that we really will have to address. If we don't end up just internally getting better with that, and that really goes to people like Goga, and it goes to guys like AB, and AB's played super well, but there's so many games where he can have more rebounds, and a lot of the rebounds, I think, for me, I feel a lot of the offensive rebounds that we're giving up are long offensive rebounds. So I think that's where Franz really comes in handy because Franz is kind of normally out on the perimeter a lot more by trying to be that point of attack defender. So he ends up getting a lot of long rebounds. And right now, we're just not getting the long rebounds. And it just keeps rearing its head, and teams are able to stay in games against us because we are doing a poor job of getting offensive rebounds because or getting the defensive rebounds so they don't get the offensive rebounds. And normally when they get the offensive rebounds, it just you can feel it. It's coming. It's inevitable, like Thanos says, because they get that ball, pass, open three, swish, and you just sit there and it's like, oh, we played such good defense, and in the end, it was for nothing in the end. So that's that. If we try to go to the positive, the Killer Bees were outstanding. So Bane 31, Paolo 28, Black 27. They kept calling them the Killer Bees. So I don't know if that's a thing that we're going to call them now. But without Franz there, without Jalen, we now have, again, AB's been that consistent player. So it's either Bane or Paolo that have been the number one, let's say. And then AB's been that second guy, and shoot, if all three of them are going to be playing this well at all times, then offensively, our numbers are going to continue to come back to where they were because we were doing pretty well, and then we kind of cratered for a bit, and now we're kind of starting to come back little by little. So let's hope that we're able to continue this not renaissance, but this coming out party for AB because AB has just been killing it. He's shooting with confidence. That was something we talked about all year last year. Guys need to shoot with confidence, and that's what AB is doing. He's pulling back, step back, shooting threes from the corner, doing a little bit of everything. So AB's been great. Paolo, double double. Paolo is leading the team in double doubles. He's leading the team in rebounding. He's one of the few guys that continue to get the rebounds and rebounds in traffic. There was a couple that he went up in traffic and went and got. So Paolo's back in that respect. Like his feet are under him. He's shooting threes better than he normally shoots threes. So I don't know if it's going to be he's so streaky that he's on a good streak now. Then let's ride that wave until it goes away. But it looks like his jump shot is back. He's never really been a great jump shooter, but it's back in that he's not shooting everything short because it was inevitably everything was short when he in his first few games back from injury, and now we've passed that threshold, and now he has a little bit more joy in him apparently, and now he's really starting to play very well. And then it just ended up being a good Bane game, and then if it's a good Bane game, then he's going to be in the high 20s or he's going to be in the 30s, and he's going to be shooting and running around and getting blocked and doing all the things that Bane does. And that was this game. So good game all around, scoring over 30 for Bane. 6 and 6, the same Bane things. Just we ended up getting a better offensive output from his shot and from his drive. So all that is very positive when you look at the offense. 2 games in a row. This is what I mentioned as well, that we're playing teams that aren't as great defensively, so we're going to have better numbers over the course of the next 8 to 10 games. We just have to see if our defense is going to come back to earth or come back to us and really start putting the clamps on some of these teams so we're not sweating it out against the teams with not as great of records. And again, the travel of this stretch isn't great. So yes, we went from team that we beat Indiana, then we lose to Chicago in that last one. We travel home for 1 game against Indiana. We win that, but now we're out on the road for a back-to-back against 2 teams we could beat and should beat. But even the lower tier teams in the NBA, if you look at them, a lot of them are playing 500 basketball right now. So this isn't like they're tanking later on in the year. They're all playing pretty well. Brooklyn is 5-5 in their last 10. Charlotte, I believe, is 5-5 in their last 10. They just smoked OKC. Chicago is 6-4. Washington is 5-5 in their last 10. So we got to continue to play and respect teams and not just assume that we're going to beat them. So hopefully they're in for a dogfight because right now Washington is shooting it lights out. So hopefully the Magic are up for it. We got out bench scored again. I would say takeaway number 4 in that respect is the bench continues to suffer with two of our guys in the starting lineup, and it kind of is just what it is. But another great takeaway in the last one for this game is Jase really started to take Tyus's minutes. So I don't know if this is going to be a common thing, because we all know that with Mosley, there isn't a real rotation. It just kind of is what it is game by game. So we'll see if Jase is going to get more run in the next game. Uh, he proved that he can play well, right? So he played 26 minutes, scoring 12 points, over double digits again. And in Tyus's minutes, he scored 3 points. We need output. We need to score, right? And that 9 point difference between those two, we ended up winning the game by 8. So again, this is all something that we all see, and I can understand wanting to play some of the veterans, and that is great. And we're not in the evaluation process of the rebuild anymore. But when guys are playing well, guys are playing well. You have to play the guys who are playing well. That's what you guys mentioned at the beginning of the season. If the guy is contributing to winning, he's going to play. We have had guys contributing to at least good play, and they're not getting their opportunity. So hopefully it is something that will start to happen, and we will see more minutes for Jase, more minutes for Noah. Jett hasn't been playing all that well, so it's understandable he's out of the rotation at the moment. Same thing with JI, but let's see what happens moving forward. So if we go into the box score, so Tristan in his 28 minutes, Tristan was a starter in this game, obviously, because Franz is still not back. 28 minutes for Tristan, 10 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. It's good to see he's starting to hit his 3-point shots again, but no other stats, which feels a little bit like his Eurobasket time with 1 steal and a turnover, and that was pretty much all there was for Tristan. He didn't get as much run as you see as a bunch of the other guys, but he did start on this one. Paolo, 36 minutes in this one, 9 of 18 shooting, beautiful, 28 points, 3 of 5 from 3. We got to get that percentage. He's not a 20% 3-point shooter, which is what he's basically been shooting all year. He's higher 20s, lower 30s, and hopefully this hot streak will get him at least to that level. 7 of 9 from the free throw line, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover. Only 1 turnover for Paolo. We got to love that. Wendell, 31 minutes of action, 18 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, 5 of 8 from the free throw line, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover. In games like this, where there isn't like I said in the last time I talked about the Indiana team, they don't have a guy that's kind of like a Jalen Smith from Chicago or a Diabate from Charlotte that are just going to be a hound and constantly fight you for every rebound. So here we see Wendell was able to get a good amount of rebounds in this one. So hopefully that will continue. We're against Washington. They don't really have that that type of guy as well, but we will see. Desmond in 36 minutes, 31 points, 12 of 17 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 2 turnovers. That's okay. We had less than 10 turnovers in the game. Incredible for the Magic. Can you imagine when we were giving up 20 and 19 and all these other times earlier in the year, and now we're only giving up 7. It's incredible. Desmond, again, good game, great shooting, 3 of 6. I love the 6. If you see the guys, 4, 5, 3, 6, 7, 5 guys were shooting threes, and you love that. And it's only 32. I'd rather get them get up to about 35 a game, but that's all good here. So good game from Desmond. AB in 35 minutes, 27 points, 8 of 16 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3, 8 of 10 from the free throw line. Loving that. 3 rebounds, 10 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks, a lot of them on jump shots, 1 turnover. that line right there is incredible. So he may not win most improved player, but he's going to be in the conversation. You got to love that. He may not win sixth man of the year because he's starting a lot of games, but even then, like, you can see he's starting to blossom in front of our eyes, and all this is great to see. The aggression by shooting as much as he did, hitting 3-point shots over 40% clip, 80% from the free throw line on 10 free throw attempts for AB, and he's again, he just bends his knees and he's shooting his free throws with confidence. 10 assists as well by not even being the primary ball handler. You'll love that. Goga was the first one off the bench in this one in 16 minutes, only 2 points. He loves playing against Indiana and normally plays much better against Indiana. This just wasn't a Goga game. 1 of 2 from the field, no threes, no free throws, 2 rebounds, and 1 turnover with his 3 personal fouls. Another game from Goga that I've been talk about Goga Island. Like, I'm the governor of the island, if it's a state, I guess. And I love Goga. I love everything I got about Goga. Love his personality. Love his drive. I like everything about Goga, and it's just really been a disappointment in the last, like, pretty much since the end of the preseason. It's been pretty much a poorer season than I was hoping after him coming off such a great Eurobasket. So, unfortunately, that is what it is. Jase, 26 minutes, 12 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 0 of 1 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 4 assists, no turnovers, and 3 personal fouls. That's fine. Jase played excellently. And again, he just continues to produce, continues to compete and produce. So you'll see that he puts his head in there. He gets on the offensive boards. He's not one of those little guys that are not going to mix it up. He has good jumping ability. He has long arms. So even though he is smaller in stature, he is able to do a lot of things, and he deserves the time that he's getting. So hopefully that continues. JI with 11 minutes ended up with 4 points, 1 of 1 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. No rebounds, but 3 assists for JI. So interesting stat line for JI. No turnovers, no blocks, no steals, but no rebounds, but 3 assists. So great. We got a few minutes out of JI in this one. Jett, got a little peek of Jett throughout this one with 2 minutes of action, no points, 0 of 1 from the field. That's all for Jett. Tyus ended up with 13, almost 14 minutes of action, 3 points, 1 of 2 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. That was his 1 basket, no rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, which I'm sure kind of was like a steal, but they call it a block. No turnovers for Tyus. Again, just 2 shot attempts. I know he's the point guard. I get it. I understand that that's what the point guard's supposed to do. Just set up the other guys and not be the one to score and not do all that. I get all that, but we have to get out of that mindset to an extent, because that's not the NBA anymore. You really can't have a guy that's just not trying to score. That's what I'm not saying that he needs to score all the time, but if you shot 1 of 8, that sounds bad and it's not great, but again, he's being aggressive, and it's harder to get guys to be aggressive than it is to get them to simmer down. So I just, that kills me. And 9 seconds from Jamal Cain for no stats, nothing at all in that respect. So it kind of is what it is for Jamal. This wasn't a game that they added him because they played all of the other guys, which again was weird that Jamal was playing as much as he was in the previous 2 games. So unless there was some hunch or something that the coaching staff was playing with, it was always a weird thing that Jamal was getting as many minutes over some of the other guys that need to get those minutes because they need to be contributing in the next few years. So it is what it is. Ultimately, we shoot 56% from the field, 47% from 3, 77% from the free throw line, only 4 offensive rebounds, but that's partially because everybody was shooting so well. So it kind of is what it is. 36 overall rebounds, 34 assists, and 7 turnovers. Who is this team? We're continually not getting a lot of turnovers, though. So we only had 7 steals, 6 blocks is a good amount of blocks, and that's mostly from AB. So that is this game. It ended up being kind of a it it was still an interesting game, and it still was something. It was a game that had your blood pressure up, and you're still, engaged through all of it, even if it was a bit frustrating at times when we really couldn't slow anybody down on the other end. Just it was one guy having a turn, and another guy having a turn, and another guy having a turn. Now Indiana is a much better team than their record, obviously, with the experience that they've had, and it makes sense that they play well. And I think that's why it's a bit weird. They've only won 6 total games when in both games that we've played against them, they've played very, very well. So maybe they're just unlucky this year, and it is were already unlucky game 7 of the finals last year, and their luck is going into 2026 at this point, and it's just going to be such a lost year. It's already a lost year, but now it's going to be even more of a lost year. We'll see if they starting to tank a little bit moving forward, since they have the worst record in the NBA. So it was a win is a win. A win is a win is a win is a win. So we're very happy to have the win. It would have been way worse for us to have the loss, but to score as well as we did and to have to still kind of sweat it out is the disappointing part. So we'll see if the Magic are going to be able to finally have a little bit of a defensive identity in Washington. We did the first time we went to Washington, and we had a much needed win in Washington last time because it was the beginning of the season when we were getting spanked, and we were able to go into Washington and kind of start to ease things down a little bit. And hopefully they don't catch fire like Charlotte did a couple weeks ago. And again, they're going to be at home, so there's a little more excitement on the team because they're 5-5 record in their last 10. So we shall see how things go. Right now, I'm not super confident because we've played poorly pretty much every game at different spurts. So every game has been 1-2 possession games in the final minutes. So hopefully it all goes well. And then we're going to be playing Brooklyn back to back. Brooklyn also is playing very well, 5-5 in their last 10, and they are playing really good defense. They're the number one defensive team in the last bit of time. So we have our work cut out for us. And you look at the schedule and you're like, oh, these teams are under 500, but so is Charlotte. And Charlotte smoked OKC yesterday, and they smoked us a couple of games ago without Knipple for much of that game as well. So we'll see. So fingers crossed everything goes well, and we continue to play well offensively, and that will carry us until we get Franz, which hopefully it may not be in these next couple games. It would be nice if he made a sneak peek in Brooklyn, but if not, him and or Mo will likely come back when we're back in the Kia Center next week. So fingers crossed, all goes well. And do the normal YouTube things like share, drop a comment below, letting me know how you felt the game was and what do you think we're going to do in the week ahead. And if you want to do so, hit that subscribe so you don't miss out on any content that I produce. And I want to thank you very much for clicking on this video and spending a little bit of time talking Magic with me. I hope you're having a great day.